D.C. He wants to close the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. And he's already been attacking those museums up there anyway. Any uh, uh, any public museum that's funded by the government, getting government aid. I don't know if it's government aid, but most definitely, probably the Smithsonian is probably 100%. I don't know if it's 100% funded by the government, and so anything that is federally funded like that on that level, he got the power to say what goes in it, what will go in it, what won't go in it, and that's critical, especially when you got a Nazi regime in power. And it's quite obvious that they don't like black people. That's just what it is, and so they don't care. And I told you, they don't have to show their ancestors being vile as they are. We know their ancestors is vile, but to them, they did whatever was necessary for them to gain power. So what's vile for you was so necessary and heroic for them. You see what I'm saying? It was most necessary for them to achieve the power that they have today. So you looking at it all wrong. They don't have to show they people, being decrepit and despicable like that, even though we know that's what they are. They don't have to fund it. And that's where a common sense understanding come into play. That you got to tell your own story. Well, you can't never let your enemy teach you and your children nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all. Period. And so even the fund it was a mistake to allow the government to fund something like that. It should have been private. And this is where all these rich niggas that come into play, man, that they should have been able to put enough money aside, where you could build something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure, you know what I'm saying, 10, $20 million, and you get, you go around all these rich niggas and shit and get some funds together, build the building and put the the information, the statues, the exhibits and all of that in there. It should have been dead. It should have been dead, a long time ago. We should have been took our history out of the hands of the government, period. And so I always knew, because, they're not going to tell all the truth. No way, even though they're going to tell some of the truth. They're not going to. My thing is, and what these Negroes today that's really into this FBA shit, because all y'all niggas want to talk about is slavery and shit. Y'all trying to get the check and shit. And I understand that. We deserve all that's coming to us. But we so beyond, the shit that they owe us, they'll never be able to give it to us. So let's just, y'all niggas just want a couple dollars, nigga, and put the people need spiritual and political reparations. You know what? When the mind is repaired and the spirit is, y'all niggas mental is decrepit. So you could give a nigga a couple dollars, but your mental and your spiritual apparatus is broken. And that's where the fear come in. And it don't matter. You can still get them niggas. It don't make no difference. Give them the dollars and shit and see what they do with it. They ain't done that. They been rich as a motherfucker. Black people didn't had a couple dollars. You already seeing. If they, all of a sudden, since you get reparations or you get a couple dollars, all of a sudden that's gonna make you better. No, mentally you got all the dollars. You got all the dollars to do something right now. You don't want to do shit. You ain't got the mind to do nothing. You ain't got the mind to do nothing. So black people should have been and went on ahead, but we ain't got time to be building great museums and shit and all of that, and we still enslaved. And so what the fuck we gonna go in? A lot of times when I go into these museums, I don't want to see a bunch of slave shit, even though I do want to see slavery. I need to see exhibits on Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's where I'm at. I don't play no games. I don't want to see nothing else. You know what I'm saying? As far as my history, I don't care what you niggas believe in. When you go into a museum, the highest accomplishments of a people should be front and center. Everything else should be, connected. But when you go into a major European museum, the Greek, the Roman, even though that's a lot of that is, I'm not gonna argue that point. That's gonna be their central point in that museum. You know what I'm saying? That Greek, everything else gonna be around it. So when I come into a museum, it's supposed to be black. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that comedic, Nile Valley front center. Yeah, and you got to have the major piece on slavery. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the major piece on West Africa. All the silver, but you got to have front center the highest and greatest achievement. And a lot of people is being benevolent, and saying, well, Africa has, yes, it has had a lot of great civilization. But let's be real, nigga, nothing is comparing to the Nile Valley. I'm just gonna be 100 with you, and you can take it how you wanna. You can go and teach whatever the fuck you need to teach. Nigga, you start at the top, and the top become the bottom, nigga. The top become the bottom. You feel what I'm saying? And everything else is attached to that. Cause you going up. But you going up, nigga, the Kemetic art, the Nubian arts and sciences and civilization become the bottom, even though it's the top. And why I'm saying the bottom, that's as low as I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going, I deal, and it's some great science. I ain't saying I discard, because it's some ancient sciences, nigga, outside of the Nile Valley. But that's connected. You know what I'm saying? That's connected. But Egypt and Nubia got too many advanced sciences and arts to come behind, and that's what niggas do. To come behind any other civilization. You talking about engineering, you talking about medicine. I'm talking about where the modern expression of it. And that don't mean it's the most, but Egypt is where you get the ancient, they ain't like the white man's medicine, but the instruments that they using today. You can go to Kamumbo. You can go to the temple of Kamumbo, and Kamumbo is in Kamumbo. Yeah, in Kamumbo. That's well, it's in the city of Kamumbo. You see what I'm saying? And you got the double temple of Sobek and Horus, which is Heru, which during the Ptolemy was a version of Heru. And you can go in the back of that temple and you will see Aset. She's pregnant and she's sitting on the birthing stool. And then you see Imhotep and you will see all of these. It's about like 25 different medical instruments and all of that they using today. Even the where the washing bowl, where you wash your hands and things of the nature, and then you got it there for the baby when the baby come out to wash the baby and everything. Had all these instruments. So you can't find that nowhere else. Y'all niggas out there, y'all could talk to whoever you want and let them niggas without no knowledge whatsoever, you could fool them niggas to where they would want to believe any motherfucking thing. There's nothing on the planet, modern civilization as we know it today, come out of Kemet. That's it. Ain't no if, not an and, no a but. There's not no civilization in America, nowhere from north to the fucking south, that can even touch even Egypt at its lowest point, let alone at its height. It couldn't touch Egypt at its lowest point. Most civilizations. You see what I'm saying? So when I come into a museum, that I got to see it. You niggas, y'all can do whatever you need to do. Cause and so but yet instead, I'm not discarding nothing. But that's how you start. You got to start with the top. You know what I'm saying? As the focal point, and then you put everything else in and what is it? Synchronize it with the top. You synchronize it with the top. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, family, so we don't give a goddamn about uh 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 you know you know no European closing down nothing, because they shouldn't have no damn power to open up nothing and fund nothing no damn way. If you knew it was telling the truth, you knew the damn European would not uh 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 would not fund the truth, exposing his people and showing us to be the original founders of civilization. They would not ever do nothing like that. So that's like saying that the government would have funded Dr. Ben or Dr. John Henry. Come on, let's be serious. So when you get to spitting that truth, you ain't gonna get no funding. More time than not, your ass gonna get kicked out of institutions. You gonna get kicked out of institutions telling the truth. Okay? Anyway, this is the general, y'all. Get over there to Patreon, click, get some work today. Don't you hesitate. Over 600 exclusive, all them 2-hour, 3-hour live streams on Egypt, Olmec, the Naga, Kushites, all of that is over there, for real. General Seti, Etsy, One Stop, KingSeti.com. Get this video a thumbs up before you get up off of here now, family. Give it a thumbs up and share it. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your YouTube. Put it on your TikTok. Put it on your IG. Put it somewhere, family, so our peoples can view it and get this knowledge. I'll see you in a minute. Black Power. Boom.